Oh, hello there. Good afternoon. Kamaus, Sapphire, Aaron, Clayton. How we all doing? Okay, so since we had to cut this morning off short, we are going to be continuing working on the wings. How many pounds of onions did you eat? So I took a tablespoon of cinnamon and went back to sleep for like an hour or two. Then woke up and went out, had a little bit of food and went outside and spent a good time in the garden. And magically, I'm better. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. This morning was awful, that's for sure. I did have some onions in my dinner, but no honey onions. I'm pretty sure it was like allergy based. I'm not sure if it was like a illness, but I don't know. Who knows? That's right. Healed by the fresh air of the garden. Some sunshine, fresh air, and a little bit of hard work. Let's see. I planted sage. I planted more peas. A little bit of radish. Some mustard greens. Oh, I need to update this. Peas. That's right, peas. What else did I plant? Can't really remember. I didn't really do a good job of writing this down this year, so we're just gonna see what comes up. I'm sharpening my plant identification skills by not putting a little popsicle stick in the ground with the actual what's in there, you know. So. It forces me to have to identify it the old natural way. But anyways, got the coffee brewing. Let me go get some of that, and we'll get started. So yeah, we're gonna finish. I want to get this wing finished this week. I don't want to start next week working on a wing again. So, I'm over it. That way, next Monday we can do Alduin's, all the back scales and the back of the neck. That's good. Did part of this wing break? Yeah, part of it like kind of peeled off from the structure when I was baking. I'm tired of winging it. That's right. I think this is the last wing. This is the last wing of the current lineups of dragons. So it'll be a nice wing break after this one. But yeah, right here, this piece right here is like this section just kind of like ripped and peeled off of the structure during baking last time. So we went ahead and reattached it. Okay, let us get into it. Let's see. Okay, I see where we left off. Fair warning to not commission any dragons for a while. Now, if you would commission a dragon today, I wouldn't be starting it for a while, so it would be fine. There's definitely awaiting a period between when a commission's confirmed and when I can actually start. Unless, of course, it's a rush job. That will come with a fee. Feels good to sit down and do some inside work. We did a bunch of running around earlier and garden work. Cooked some dinner on the grill. Special cases, that's right. Yeah, someone wants to pay me extra to start tomorrow. I wouldn't say no to a rush fee. I cooked a nice, delicious ribeye on the grill with a whole head of garlic and an avocado and a shish kebab skewer of onions, all oiled up and seasoned. You just set those on the grill first and let them just kind of slow cook and get all smoky. Then cooked up the ribeye. This time I actually used I had a little meat thermometer I used, so I was pulling it off right when it was perfect. I've been having a bit of trouble with hot glue leaking onto a bit I want to sculpt. Yeah, all you do is you use a heat gun to just loosen it up and remove it. Yeah, that's a normal situation though. I often will have like little drips of hot glue kind of coming out in areas that are inconvenient. So just take your heat gun to it and soften it up and then just remove it with some tools. Hey, how you doing there, Buttercup? Oh. Hello, Plankwalker. Good evening. Fall in line, my friend. That. Getting raided over on Kick here. Back to Earth Creations. Hey, thank you for the raid. Let's see here.
The strength of the cnotbusch kingdom lies not in our walls, but in our people. March to war.
All right. Hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Welcome in, raiders. How you doing? Diaries of a Wandering Artist. Nice. What were you guys up to? It's a good day. How's your shirt? Just getting started for the evening. I coming in from a nice long session in the garden. Bunch of earrings. Nice. Yeah. Cool. What are you making the earrings out of? What materials? We're using polymer clay here. It's a special kind of polymer clay called Cos clay, and I'm sculpting this dragon wing here. We're just finishing up the backside. The inside's already done, so it's for this dragon here, Alduin from the Skyrim. World of Elder Scrolls. Yes, there's lots of multi-layer baking happening here. This makes doing these more complex things much easier to work on. So like right now, this membrane layer and then this outside part has already been cured. So we're just doing the kind of the in the middle where the fingers are essentially. And, you know, doing a little bit of extra sculpting around to blend it in, and there you go. Oh, he's photobombing. Let's get you out of there. There we go. So I was using gemstones, just some simple beads for our next vending event. Okay, doing some like some shows. Is that mostly what you do is jewelry, or do you just do kind of all kinds of stuff? All right, cool. Any particular kind of shows you'd go to, or is it just kind of whatever's going on? You try to get a table spot. That's one aspect of the business of, you know, making artwork. I just never had to. I was never a part of as an artist. I was a part of it as a long time ago, probably at the earlier stage when I first started pursuing my craft. My girlfriend at the time had made homemade soap, and I would help her and go with her to vendor, you know, at farmers markets and craft shows and stuff. Homemade soap. And funny thing is, I would take regular bars of soap that she had made, and while I was sitting around waiting for people, you know, just kind of biding my time, I would take a little knife and carve the bars of soap into different shapes, and then we would sell those carved soaps, and they would do well. They would sell well. You know, get a couple more bucks out of something. Anime St. Louis and Dragon Con, but we used to do 30 plus events a year. Craft shows and conventions and such. Wow. That's busy. Busy. Out of all the places you go to and shows you've done, what was your best? I've not done this side of the business, but I've always been interested in it, and I don't know. It's been an interest of mine. I've always looked into. So Those are the soaps that gather dust on the toilet. What, the ones that I carved? It was a good sculpting challenge because you didn't want to remove too much of the soap, but you wanted to make it look like what you wanted it to look like, so. Dragon Con is pretty close to where I'm at. It's over in like Schaumburg, isn't it? Schaumburg, Illinois or something. The for guests soap, yeah.
Hail, noble ally. Please accept these treasures as a gift for your unwavering service to the kingdom.
I appear to only disappear again, Mr. Magiger. Well, thank you for your appearance, and thank you for staying subscribed to me for my entire streaming career here on Twitch. 139 months. You'll be at a 150 soon, and then we'll be having a 200-month celebration before we know it, I'm sure. DravenCon for sure. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, okay. And it's the biggest event we ever been to. Okay, so you did well. I've got dinner going, but okay, yeah, no problem. Hey, thanks for dropping everybody off, and yeah, I appreciate it. We'll catch you later. Thanks for the chat. All right, Mr. Magiger, let's see what we got. We got Clone Me Juice. Clone Me Juice. What's up, Glowing? Remember, even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise again. Unless you are a vampire. That's true. Then you'll never see the sun again. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I wasn't doing good this morning, but I sure turned it around. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna brush our clay glue over this and then start blending it in. I did, yeah. Yeah, I just had about a tablespoon of cinnamon and then took a nap. After the nap, I woke up. I was pretty good. It was still a little bit there, but then I went outside in the garden. So. I think that's what really did it. Oh, nice, Canes. Working and lurking. Welcome aboard. The nap was pretty nice, not gonna lie. Some special stock. Oh, yeah? Onions are very special. I do agree. I'm usually one of those kind of people, though, that if I can just get some extra rest in, I can overcome something pretty quick. So I don't. It's pretty rare for me to feel under the weather, and when I do, I take a nap, and all is well. Have some random medicinal medicine and take a nap. Herbal remedy and nap time. That's all I need. Hello, Moxie. Oh, nice. Ready to go. What's up, Helen? Just arrived? Well, we've added clay. This is already a baked clay kind of membrane here. And we're just kind of adding this anatomy in between. And I put the volumes of clay where I wanted the anatomy to be. And then I painted on some clay glue. This is what will kind of really make it kind of fuse to the surface and kind of make it all come together. So now I'm taking this tool here and I'm just kind of blending the edges and really shaping it together. Getting rid of those seam lines so it looks like it's all under one piece of skin. And once we got that done, we'll move on to the texturing. Match up the texture and then we'll be looking pretty good. There's a structure underneath made of armature wire and aluminum foil. So, and then it all kind of connects to this this plug here, which will go into dragon here. I think this is the one here. Is it that one? Yeah. Like so. Ta-da. There you go. That's a pretty big piece. Ooh. Not balanced without the other wing. How wide do you think the wingspan will be on this dragon? It's a huge wing. It's more tall. The way I designed it is like he's like at the top of his flap, like he's about to downward flap, you know. So it's taller. It's probably probably 2 feet tall.
The strength of the cnotbusch kingdom lies not in our walls, but in our people. March to war.
It's a big piece, yeah. Definitely. Koala. Hey, Koala, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. How we all doing? Thank you. Yeah, so I did a sketch of this piece to kind of plan it out better so I can make sure that the structure would be sturdy enough and all that fun stuff. Yeah, come on in, Koala and Koala people. We're working on a dragon wing this evening. Thanks for joining us. I hope you had a good time over at Koala's stream. If someone wants to let me know what Koala was up to or what Koala does, that would be much appreciated. It's a little wing, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, are you doing some sculpture? Let me make sure I got you followed here. Big lizard. I do. Okay, good. That's how I know that I already knew that. Now I know that I already knew that. Thanks, computer. My computer brain remembered, but I didn't. My brain that's made out of 70% cholesterol or fat. Do you know that? Did you know our brains are made out of 80% fat? I think it's 80%. It's very good for brain health to have nice healthy fats for that reason. You're scared of lizards? Why? You're bigger than a lizard. Why are you scared of a lizard? You could defeat a lizard in hand-to-hand combat if you had to. So there's nothing to fear. I'm 40% microplastics. Yeah. Aren't we all? Whether we want to or not. Ah, yes. It's not going to sculpt itself. The work must continue. Hey, thanks, my friend. What route did you follow to gain your skills and knowledge? I didn't follow any prescribed route. I'm 100% self-taught. I, of course, learned from as much resources I could find, scouring the web. But mostly, yeah, it's just I didn't do any classes or schooling or any instruction from anyone in particular. And so my route essentially was project execution, learning via project execution. So taking on projects or starting a challenge or a project, and then through the act of finishing that challenge or project, you will learn new things, every project you do. Oh yeah, that would have been a good one. Mr. 18 Vix. Yeah, we'll catch him again. For sure. Gotta pump up his channel. Pump it up. Yeah, so ultimately all of my learning was just me trying to execute trial and error. Yeah, it's just you give yourself a challenge, like a particular character you're trying to make or something like that. And then through the act of trying to make it as good as you can, you're going to learn all kinds of stuff. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to redo things. You're going to have to, and it's through that just kind of process. Is how I learned everything. And the further into the craft you get, the more things will pop up to you on how to do things certain ways, how to use certain materials. You just get a higher understanding of how things work, and then then that's when you start really kind of coming up with very unique ways of doing things. And that's the journey. That's all there is to it. I really believe, I truly and really believe that anyone's capable of doing what I'm doing here. If they're willing to commit to it, to stick with it for as long as I have. And to really have this mentality of like a student mentality where you can always learn and you can always grow, and you should always be pushing the bar a little bit further each time. So you can do that, then you'll end up right where I'm at. It does not. You have to cure it by cooking it in the oven. Yeah. Use of steel stick, yeah. Yeah, you should. I don't subscribe to the golden spoon idea that some people are just born with a golden spoon and they can just do things better than anyone else can. And if you don't have the golden spoon, you can never do that. I think there's something too, though. Some people learn quicker and better because they've really honed into the student mentality better than other people. Because I'm speaking from myself, my own experience. I was not the most open of student at the beginning, for sure. I had a lot of stubbornnesses, things that you're really stubborn about, and that just literally just stopped you from growing. Being stubborn, I want to do it this way. I'm not even gonna consider this other way. I'm gonna do it my way. It's and it's funny because I had to become a teacher to really realize that that's a thing, that I've taught many classes of where I have like 30 students and learning sculpture, right? For the first time, all of them at the same like skill level. But yet every single time there would be the ones at the top. It was usually probably about 5 of them, where the work and the stuff they were doing is really good. And a bigger group in the middle, which are, they're doing pretty good, but, not as good as this top group. And then this like group of like 5 at the bottom that's just like not so good. And it was the same almost ratio every time. It was the same kind of, different students, different group of students each time, but yet it was the same kind of pattern. And I started really realizing that the ones that were doing very good were like super focused on what I was saying and what I was showing them to do, and really trying their best to apply it, and they were like they had a good work ethic, so they're always the ones that were like staying until the very end of the late night workshop period, so that's the mentality we have to have. The ones in the middle were doing it very, they were listening most of the time, but there was just things that just were not. You would show them and it was just like in one ear out the other, right? And then the group at the bottom, almost every time without fail, was the ones you would show them what to do, tell them where they need to fix things or change things, and then they would take their project back to their desk and just continue doing things the way they wanted to do it, So in my opinion, and I saw all their work, all of them are artists. All these students were artists from different types of, usually like illustration and stuff like that, because they had to apply to get into this class. It wasn't like people with no art experience. They all had art experience, just not in sculpture. But they all had the same kind of base level. They're all very talented artists in the illustration sphere. But yet the sculpture work was so different. It was just, and I'm convinced it was because of that. That's it, The people who have the better student mentality and hard wanting to work hard on what's in front of them did the best. It's as simple as that. So I try my best to apply what I've learned from that to myself, because I'm a student too, So really analyzing and looking at people's work that I consider better than mine and see, okay, what are they doing? How are they doing it? How are they thinking about it? How can I do it that way too, Because here's the thing, you might not, say you're somebody out there and you're going to learn from me, you consider me somebody that has a skill to offer or a perspective. You need to just do it the way I do it to gain that. And then you can keep certain pieces or leave certain pieces behind. But you know what I mean? You need to do the gaining of it first before you. And that's why I think the best way to learn is through tutorials, through like step-by-step follow along tutorials, because you're going to learn the way I think about the work and how I do the work from me. Then once you've gotten everything you need from me, you're going to move on to somebody else, or you're going to discover your own things. Because here's the thing, discovering something is way slower than just learning it from somebody else who's discovered it. There'll be things that I do in my workflow that took me like a decade to figure out. So you can go learn it yourself. You could go just rediscover what I've discovered and spend 10 years doing it. Or you can, just take that information that I've discovered and be like way further along the path, way quicker. So, yeah. Because I remember when I learned these little ways people do things or techniques that just blew my mind, and I was like, oh my goodness, I would have never thought to do it that way. I remember one of the big ones early on for me was using alcohol and paintbrush to smooth out detail and to just I use that process so much now. But like before I had seen somebody else doing it or seen it in a tutorial, I would have never thought to put alcohol on a paintbrush and brush it over the clay, you know? So you're like trying to like clean up all your detail by hand and yeah, so it's like that type of knowledge can be instantly imparted onto somebody. So it's something that will elevate, it's a little nugget of information that will elevate their work, and they know it instantly. They can apply it right away, you know? So there are certain things you cannot, there is no shortcut or golden nugget to attain. You just have to kind of go through the, you know, couple years of figuring out, which is a lot of the things I think is proportioning, like developing your eye to see if the sizes of things are matching or going together well. That's something you kind of always struggle with. The struggle just gets less over time. So, or like little tasks, like when I grab a piece of clay from this pile of clay here, like grabbing the exact amount that I want, not a little bit too much or a little bit, you know. It's those little things that there's nothing I could say to make you be able to do that better. You just have to practice that. But there are a lot of the way I do techniques that will just allow you to produce a really functional, good project, you know, without all these learning issues, you know, learning mistakes. Because if I go back to when I first started, oh geez, man, so many learning mistakes to get to the method that I'm at right now, you know. I've spent years doing things the hard way before I discover there's an easier way to do it. So yeah, no problem. Yeah. I used to have a little bit, like earlier on, I used to think, oh, you know, everyone can learn by themselves. You don't need to be taught. But I think as I've gotten older, I realized that that's true, but you can learn much quicker if you learn from other people. If you got your mind set for it. So. Learn more and experiment less. Yeah. Experimenting is fun. But again, you're doing I'm going to discover something. I'm going to spend 10 years possibly rediscovering something somebody already discovered that I could have just learned in 5 minutes from them, you know. So that's what I would say the trade-off is. You know. That's why I view technique and I view stuff like that as like I don't claim ownership over it. Even if I develop a technique totally on my own, I don't claim ownership over that technique because it's like a collective thing. You know, the art community as a whole has been steadily building up the collective teaching and knowledge of these things since the beginning of art, you know. That's why I don't like that way of thinking of like the secret technique that I'm never gonna tell anybody, you know. Because every single artist that has come up to their craft has learned from the collective. You know, there's no one that like lived in a box away from the world and learned their entire craft without looking at someone else's work or learning something from other people. So it's a little bit I don't know. To me, it's not right to then not also share your discoveries with the collective. It's like taking and not giving, you know. Freely was it given to me, and freely I shall give it to you. There was, when I was very beginning, when I first started, there was this guy who made this tutorial. It was back before YouTube was really a thing. It was a forum post. It was a tutorial of how to create just like a monster out of clay, out of polymer clay specifically. And I absorbed that tutorial. Like I can still see it in my brain, the frames from the pictures, because I learned so much. I was very thankful for that. Learned so much from that, because he didn't charge for it. He just posted it up on a forum somewhere. The smelly bug maquette sculpting tutorial, if anybody's familiar. That was his screen name, Smelly Bug. I kind of really like the old school tutorial format too, with like pictures and word description as opposed to like video. Maybe it's just that nostalgia from how I learned in the past, but there's definitely something to it. I mean, my very first sculpting book that my grandma bought me when I was 10 was that style too, so. We have a smelly bug so much. Now, I was already on the sculpting journey at that point, but that one is what really helped me just, I need to build an armature, you know, like these, I think it was about 2007. I was still in school, high school, and I was sculpting then, but I was using ceramic. And then I learned about polymer clay and then started to try to figure out how to make things out of polymer clay. And I think around then is when I found that tutorial, and it's like, I need to use wire armature to make a skeleton first, you know. These simple things you just don't think about unless somebody kind of tells you or shows you. I wonder if we can, let me Google search this. I wonder if it still exists out there somewhere. Smelly bug sculpting tutorial. I remember the website was conceptart.org. It's 9 years ago. The website was a safe haven for those looking to get into concept art. It was 9 years ago, this post. Yeah, I think the website just went down. It tanked. Yeah. Conceptart.org, it was kind of like the old school ArtStation before ArtStation was around. But it was like way more niche, and it was a forum. You can go to the forums, and then you go to the sculpting forum and see everybody posting their sculptures and stuff. Man. R.I.P. Was it maquette sculpting tutorial? Conceptart.org. This is polymer clay. But it's a special kind of polymer clay called Cos clay. Oh, wait, look at that. Oh, wow. 1999 Pile OCDs. The author is Okay, I found it on somebody else's website. Okay, you guys ready for this? Thanks to Flooby Newbie for reposting this. So, I guess it's from like 1999, but the Smelly Bugs maquette tutorial. Oh my goodness, this is a blast from the past. He goes into everything. He goes into tools, you know, pasta machine, calipers. Shows his workspace. This is when I very first started learning to work with polymer clay and make sculptures. I found this tutorial back then, and I used it to learn quite a bit. So it comes out, it makes it. He's an illustrator, obviously, first, and then Super Sculpey. He did Super Sculpey mixed with black and white Sculpey to make it gray, because this was before they even had Sculpey Firm. I remember that. They only had the beige colored Sculpey back then. Making the armature. I think he even does epoxy. Oh yeah, see, look. He uses epoxy clay. Of course, I couldn't find this exact one, so I started using steel stick. I was like, oh, I know exactly which one I'm going to use. All right. This was an interesting technique, too, where he carves out the... and I think I did this for a project or two, but then I just didn't feel the need to do it anymore. But I guess if you're trying to make it look exactly like the reference, this is a good technique, where you carve out the silhouette, and then you can just literally fill it in, so you at least have the proper silhouette from that angle. So blocking. He used raking, which I didn't really like with polymer clay, so I don't do much raking. Oh, and he doesn't bake in stages too, which is something I learned later. So it's so funny to see how far I've come. Oh yeah, I use his wire mesh for this part here, the like kind of skin membrane. Works good for getting likeness too, yeah. Nice. Keeps that small footprint, yeah. Uses these wire mesh for these little fins here. But yeah, he does the whole thing in one go. I don't think he doesn't bake it at all until the very end. And there it is. Looks good. Then goes in for another layer of detail. Oh, he detailed one side to show the difference. Yeah, remember that. Q&A. Okay, there we go. And then here's where I learned the brushing the alcohol technique. I think he didn't use alcohol though. I think he used he used turpentine, which I started using mineral spirits, which is similar, but then learned that alcohol can work just as good, and that's much better to be around long term. So I switched. More texture. Ah, so nice. It's a nice chicken leg you got there, buddy. Okay, into the oven. He had access to a large pizza oven. Oh yeah, like 200 for about an hour and a half. So different.
Hail, noble ally. Please accept these treasures as a gift
Hey.
for your unwavering
What's
service
up, Rob?
to
How you
the
doing, my
kingdom.
friend? We're just going down memory lane, and I'm showing the first tutorial I ever discovered with sculpture way back when. Thank you very much, man. I'll read your wisdom. Let's just finish up going down memory lane here, and then I'll read it, okay? I appreciate it, man. Check that out. Wouldn't that be nice to have? Pizza. Look at how small this thing looks in this giant oven. I need one of those. More Q&A. Okay. It's just from the forum. It's a cool character. Wait, I don't remember this part. Oh, he doesn't have the whole thing. Oh no. Anyways, he ends up showing the painting too and uses the airbrush to do some cool techniques, but there we go. Yeah, I'll share the link so you can see the old source knowledge. There was nothing like this. I'm telling you, this is like the only thing out there that was just freely available, and I was super thankful for it back then. Very fortunate that I even found it, to be honest. That's where there might be other copies of it out there. The original is gone because the website that it was on is just poofed, but
listen closely, traveler, to
Love
what
pizza.
I say. Twitch Prime does not even cost a dime.
Hey, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Love pizza. Do you love pizza ovens too? Is that what got you to hit the subscribe button? Seeing that big old pizza oven? I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Rob. Let's get you your wisdom here, my friend. Tooth of Wolf. It always seemed hard to find that kind of thing. Yeah, it always has been. The greatest battle one can fight is the one against the darkness in their own heart. That's right. We all have the potential and capability of not being good, that's for sure. Must battle against that all the days of our life. Oh.
The strength of the cnotbusch kingdom lies not in our walls, but in our people. March to war.
Hey, what's up, Gundy? Thanks for the raid, man. Welcome in. How you doing, brother? We're just sculpting some dragon wings this evening, so come on in. We just got done going down memory lane and looking at an old tutorial that I used to, I probably looked at that tutorial so many times while I was working to remind myself of steps and stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, welcome in. I appreciate it. Thanks for sending everybody here. This is the last wing we need to do for Alduin here. Last step of the last wing. The Sand Kingdom. Doing good, man. What were you up to? What kind of projects you got going on lately? Oh yeah. I mean, I just pretend like I know what I'm doing really confidently. It's amazing how many people actually do that in this world. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna pretend like I do, confidently enough so everyone believes me. Humbly confident. That's the best of both worlds. Always be confident in what you're doing, but always be humble enough to realize that something you're doing is not working, or that you're doing things wrong. The recipe to stopping all your growth is confidence and pride. That then you'll never listen to, never consider or listen to anything that doesn't line up with what you're already doing. I can't take the ego hit. Just can't. Hurts too much. What's up there, SK Dubs? I don't know if I said hi to you or not. How you doing? Alright, one more section and then we'll be ready to brush with alcohol. And start doing some details. A robot class starts next Sunday. Or this upcoming Sunday. Very soon, my friend, very soon. Doing good, Bango Bongo. All better. I mean, still a little bit there, but just definitely like nothing like this morning. That was pretty intense. Almost too soon. Need to catch up on my dragon. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people still working on the dragons. That's all, and that's all right. There's next week is still just the sketching phase, so and like I always say, these classes are not designed for you to actually keep up with them live, you know. So we're just kind of building an inventory of different projects that people can do. So yeah, I took like a tablespoon of cinnamon, Bango Bongo, and then like an hour and a half, 2 hour nap. And I woke up and I was feeling much better. Then I went outside in the garden and I was 100% after that. So, which is funny because after coming inside, it's, you know, comes back a little bit, but probably more like a teaspoon, realistically here. But I would take a tablespoon. I would if I had to. A bit nasally, yeah, just a little bit. A throat thing. Is it like in your lungs or just your throat, like an itchy throat? Back of the throat. Like a head cold starting. Head cold. I mean, you could just take a flu bomb. Try some fake frankincense. Alright, so this is what you need to do. Bango bongo. You need to get a fresh squeezed lemon juice, okay? A whole lemon into a cup. Okay. And then I need you to mince 1 clove of garlic. Add it to the mixture. A half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Add it in there. Half teaspoon of cinnamon. Put it in. What else? What else goes in a blue flu bomb? I think it's fresh ginger too. Flu bomb tea. Oh, honey. That's right. Yeah. Lemon juice. Yeah, you're gonna add some water to the cup too, and then you're gonna put like 2 tablespoons of honey. Garlic cloves. No, wait, hold on. Cayenne pepper, garlic, ginger, lemon, honey. Yep. Cayenne pepper, ginger, garlic, honey. There you go. I have a little bit more of a severe, because you can amp the more of each of the ingredient, the better. You know, the more. Here's somebody else's recipe. 1 or more cloves of garlic, a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I say add as much cayenne as you can handle because it's actually just really good for you. Quarter teaspoon of chopped ginger, juice of a lemon, and 1 teaspoon of honey. I say add more of the honey if you have a harder time drinking things that have terrible taste. So there you go. And then add a little bit of water, and then take it like a shot. Swirl it around and take it like a shot. I'll give it a shot. If you got the ingredients, I say do it. I'm telling you. I've stopped bugs from settling in dead in their tracks with that. As soon as you start feeling something coming in, you just, especially if it's something that you know is like a cold or flu type of thing. You can also do things like add, like I said, adding cinnamon to your coffee. You have to be hardcore about it, like I am with just taking a half a teaspoon and just sticking it right in your mouth. But you can just add it to like your coffee, because cinnamon's antiviral, has antiviral
Your labor
properties.
has borne fruit.
Will help,
Enjoy these
your body
goods
stave
as
it
a
off.
reward for your dedication.
Hey, what's up, Alpha? Thank you for the 15 months there, Alpha. I appreciate that. Pixie dust. Report back if you can. Exercise at your own risk. Everything I'm telling you to have is perfectly edible food, not medicine. The path ahead may be paved with darkness, but only you possess the magic to bring light to your journey. That's right. Stay positive. Stay focused on the good things, and you will be just fine. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your support. You're trying. That's all you got to do. That's the key. The trying part. It's not always succeeding. It's just trying and trying again. Gets a little bit easier each time. Okay. I think we can go ahead and brush this with alcohol now. Give it a little bit of a vigorous brushing. Yeah, the separator is persistent, meaning it stays there until it doesn't just like dissipate. So you're good. The only thing that will remove the separator is it's water soluble, meaning if you want to get rid of the separator off of a surface, you just have to rinse it and kind of rub it with water. So. Yeah, sure. No problem. I made the mold for my box. I'm struggling to get it out. For your box. What box we talking about here? You can cut the mold if it makes it easier to get out. The base of the chest. Let's see. The base of the dragon? Making like duplicating crates or something like that. Mimic chest. Oh, okay. What are you duplicating? Like a part of the chest? Like how I duplicated the handles on mine? Oh, I see. Okay. Is it hard to get out because it's like catching onto like an undercut or an edge? Or is it because the separator layer wasn't thick enough? I don't know if you can tell. If it's getting hard to like get out of the mold because of the design of the mold, then you can try to cut the mold in pieces. That would make it easier to get out, and then you just have to cast it in 2 different parts and then connect the parts. You know what I mean? I don't, no. Unfortunately. When things kind of went upside down with them. And, yeah, just kind of was a very abrupt end. What happened with them was they, we had a kind of an arrangement where they were essentially funding or paying for me to make the classes on their platform. And then it just kind of started to switch where they wanted me to push like paid subscriptions on their platform, which I just didn't want to do. So I was thinking, they're already having a hard enough time getting people to come to their platform. The last thing they should do is put a paywall up. That's just going to hinder things for them, but they obviously didn't see eye to eye there. So they pretty much said, well, if you don't want to do like paywall classes, then I guess we're going to go our separate ways. I was like, okay, all right. But it was weird because we had just signed a contract for another year, and it didn't talk about this like detail, at all. So it was very abrupt. But that's all right. It was good while it lasted, for sure. And honestly, for me, it's all about, because you gotta think I'm practicing teaching when I do classes. Every time I do a class, I'll get better at teaching. So So it was good experience, and it really got me pushed into this idea of doing online classes. So lots of positive things to take away. Plus, while it was happening, I was, it was nice to have that extra support, so extra income coming in. Yeah, I think they were a business that kind of came into being during the COVID era. This all of a sudden there was this huge need for online, learning and stuff like that. So I'm sure whoever was running it probably came up with the idea and got some sort of funding, like a grant or something. But they're just not, I don't know. I don't think it's being applied right, and obviously it shows they haven't really grown. I don't even know if they're even still doing it. I think they started to go a little bit more into the niche of language teaching. I think was a very successful side of what they were doing. Was the language teachers were doing well, but got a Grant. Some random guy called Grant and comes in the office now. Hey, Grant. Hey, guys. So what are we doing today? Good old Grant. I've never met a Grant that wasn't a good old guy. It's one of those, the laid back. It's like required if your name is Grant to be just a calm, laid back guy. Yeah, it's good to reflect on the good things. I've had many situations or jobs that maybe in the moment didn't seem like a good situation, but then you look back and you're like, oh, that actually really helped me grow there in the long run. Even if it's like dealing with difficult people, you get everything's practice. You get practice at dealing with somebody that's difficult, which is a very good skill to have. As long as you're looking at it that way, you can actually benefit from any situation you find yourself in. Herbert C. Grant. First sneeze of the evening. Mr. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. Let me refill my coffee. Kevshe. I was good and I didn't have any coffee this morning. So that's a win for today. Makes the evening cup so much more enjoyable. Oh, but I did share a latte with the missus while we were out. So I guess that's kind of we'll take it as a half win. How was my gaming weekend? I think Friday night, me and the missus stayed up till 2 a.m. Oh my goodness, I haven't been up till 2 a.m. in such a long time. We were fiended, man. And then Saturday night was similar, but we made a deal to cut it off at 1 a.m. So Is it teach.tv? Let's see if they're still in teach.tv. Yeah, they're still there. They totally, by the way, they have like these numbers they post. Like, they post numbers on like how many people they have and students and teachers, and it's all just totally not even real. Looks like they took that stuff down, but they used to have like these numbers like 150,000 students or something crazy like that. That was totally not even real. Seems like all the teachers they have are completely different now too. Request a demo, sign up, login. Can't even, like, you can't even get in unless you sign up. Request a demo. Why world's top schools choose teach. Yeah. Always changing, that's for sure. What game did you play? We were playing. Me and the missus are playing through Return to Moria, which it's a dwarf game where you're like, it's the dwarves returning to the mines of Moria after the story of the Lord of the Rings played out. So they're going to reclaim the mines, and your party kind of falls deep into the mines before all the other dwarfs can. And it's a game where you can like harvest, mine, and even build bases and craft, and you're almost like revitalizing the area and kicking out all the baddies. So after Durin's Bane gets killed, yeah, exactly. But you find of course a bunch of squatters in there, and it's a whole storyline. It's a really good balance between story but also scratches that itch of like base building, fighting, and farm, like a good farm. Not like some games, like for example, what's the Viking one called? Some games, the farming's too intense, where it's like you spend like, you have to spend hours of farming just to like do something simple. That game is really balanced, where it's like I don't really feel like I have to go and like farm for hours on end to just do something. You tend to have a good amount of resources, not an abundance, but not scarce. It's like really well balanced, where you don't feel the grind, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, which I like a lot. I definitely appreciate a lot. So, yeah, exactly, Sarah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you'll see how it kind of goes, and yeah, yeah. Because I remember, God, what's the game? What's the Viking one called? Sarah, help me out here. What's this? What's the Viking one that we played? I really enjoyed that one, but the farming is just too. Valheim. There we go. Valheim. It's too much. Too much farming required, which I always enjoy a farming game at the initial, like kind of like the beginning, but then once you get into it, it becomes like this, like, am I playing a game or am I working? What's going on here? Is this becoming a chore? Yeah, we're talking about Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria. Yeah, awesome. It's an awesome game. I could see it being enjoyable as a solo playthrough if you don't have anyone to play with, but I'm really enjoying it with company. So like me, and even if we just have one other person, I think you can have up to 8 people playing with you at one time. So you can have a little band of 8 dwarves running around, drinking some beer, eating some salted pork, Beer is potions in that game, by the way. You probably haven't figured that out yet, Sarah, but you'll be able to brew. You could actually brew beer in there for different things. So. Fill up your little flask before you head out. We got 7. It's going to be more difficult when you guys... So what will be a little bit harder for you guys is when you get up into the higher levels, when you need to produce like the new sets of armor and weapons and backpacks. And you guys are going to need to farm a lot more materials to make 7 pairs of everything. Also, so equipment that you make, I've not discovered. I don't think there is a way to actually destroy it. So what you're gonna end up having is like what we have is kind of like a couple chests off to the corner, where it's like you just throw all your extra equipment. Me and Ina are in the middle of making our big. We're making a huge base, kind of like our new central base. And I plan on using all that old gear and stuff as decoration, because you can build like, like armor stands and weapon racks and, Yeah, right, Alpha? Well, the problem isn't that booze can't be medicinal. It's that overindulgence of it becomes a detriment to the health. You know what I mean? Did you know, like, for example, like Jägermeister is actually a tincture. Notice how it says on the bottle 52 botanicals? It's because there's actually 52 different plants that are like alcohol extracted into it. So the problem is people drink the whole bottle instead of just having like one little shot of it. Like a medicine, like how medicine's supposed to be taken. But yeah, it's if you ever gotten into how you make medicine or make tinctures, you use alcohol to extract the beneficial compounds within plants and mushrooms. But you're supposed to have like a dropper full of it, or you're not supposed to just, chug the whole bottle. So yeah, well, not even a shot. For example, I have a tincture that I've made with what's called mullein. It's a plant that has medicinal properties to help fight off lung congestion, when you're really like got congested lungs and stuff like that. It really does work. And to make it, I got essentially vodka and soaked the plant material in the vodka for, like 2 months. Strained out the plant matter and then bottled it up into little dropper bottles. And then when you're got lung congestion issues, you just take a dropper full and put it under your tongue. So let it kind of absorb in. You can make tinctures without alcohol. I think you can do vinegar too. I just think alcohol absorbs into your system quicker. Some people make tinctures with other alcohols too, not just vodka, but you can use like whiskey and stuff like that too. But I don't know, I don't really get into that too much. Something I want to get more into, of course, but bronchitis or pneumonia, yeah, anything lung health related. There's some medicinal things in plants you can't get out of the plant unless you use alcohol. They're alcohol soluble. Like a lot of the cancer-fighting mushrooms that have cancer-fighting properties, they need alcohol to extract the compounds. Coors plus dandelion. Ew. Coors. I'm not really picky with beers. I really only have been sticking to good old German beer whenever I have beer. I love the peace of mind of the German beer purity law that guarantees it only has 4 ingredients. So what I'm hearing is mushroom and booze equals no cancer. That's that's what you're hearing, but that's not what I'm saying. Even the basic button mushroom, adding that to your diet, it really does have a lot of cancer-fighting properties. So definitely eat your mushrooms.
Noble ally, please accept these treasures as a gift for your unwavering service to the kingdom.
Meowster. Woot woot. See you next month. But hey, thank you so much, Meowster. I appreciate it. But don't go anywhere just yet. 92 months, tier 2 sub. We got Frog's Breath and Skull and Crossbones. Let's get you a wisdom to carry you through to the next month. Frog's Breath and Skull and Crossbones. What will you choose? Frogs. Frog's Breath. Smells of algae and mud. Don't be afraid to go on unexpected adventures. The most exciting things often happen when you least expect them. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? You gotta be open to it, though. That's for sure. That's the truth. You gotta be open to it. We've all had situations that happen in your life where you have this idea of what you want to do or how you want the day to go, but some unexpected thing lands in your lap, and it's easy to get frustrated because of this expectation you have not being fulfilled. But we have to really let that go and just, let the day carry you in those moments. It's always going to seem inconvenient when things like that arise, like a stray dog roaming through your yard, Speaking of dandelions and Coors, it's about to be dandelion season, where the first flush of the season, there's always tons of dandelion flowers. It's a good time to go out and pick them. You can make all kinds of stuff with dandelion flowers. Actually have a little bit of a sweet flavor to them if you ever eaten them. Just make sure wherever you're picking them from is like not a place being like sprayed with chemicals or something. I don't know. From my end, I don't think he said frogs after I gave the option. Maybe there's a delay over there on your end. Okay. Now we're gonna do the texturing here. Lag vida. This wing? These wings take time, that's for sure. It also feels that way because this is the second one, which looks very similar to the first. That's why I wanted to work on it tonight, because I don't want to start next Monday with wings again. Yeah, well, it's a little bit different, this kind of rotation, because we had what ended up happening was right before I left for Germany for a month, we had 4 sponsored projects for companies just land in my lap all at the same time. So we had to put all of our normal commission work on pause. I had to go to Germany for a month, come back, and then I had to finish all those sponsored works before we could continue. So, and a lot of those works are very close to being finished. So we put in the, probably half a year of production time on them, and then had to put them on pause for probably another 4 months. You can't cast wings because they are not. They're a mirrored thing. Meaning, even though wings are exactly the same, they're flipped. They're mirrored. Just like you can't cast a right hand and make it into a left hand. So certain things like that. Yeah, well, it's also because the way I work on stuff, like if I had worked on the Minotaur only, that was my only piece, and I wasn't working on other things during the week, it would take probably a month, maybe a month and a half to do. But because I do like a project rotation, I only work on one project each day of the week, it can take like 6 months. No, chess set's still in the works. We'll be working on that one tomorrow morning. We're working on the king and queen piece there, so. Yeah, I mean, it's even if you get really efficient at this work, to produce large, highly detailed work, it just takes time. There's no way around it, Choose. Star Wars themed, that'd be cool. What will the knights be? I wonder. I could actually see the knights being those snow creatures. What are they called? Takas or something like that? Gungans. You ever seen the I love the Darth Jar Jar conspiracy? You ever seen that? That actually Jar Jar Binks is like Senator or Emperor, the Emperor's master. That he's the ultimate bad guy in the story, hiding in plain sight as a foolish character. Jar Jar is the reason Palpatine came to power. Yeah, he's like this. He's the actual like super bad guy. I love that theory, and that would be so epic. Because an ultimate super baddie would do that. They don't act like the bad guy. They act like someone you would least likely expect to be a bad guy. Disguised as a character of good. That is how the ultimate bad guys work. They masquerade as the good guys. Rebel Alliance and Darkseid, there you go. I always love the flipped script perspectives on the stories, you know, where you actually, the good guys, like, you flip the roles and, like, see it from a different lens, and you can... The Marvel franchise is a good one for that. Especially the Thanos story. Lord of the Rings. Sauron just wanted peace. I've seen there's these deep dive like lore videos on YouTube where they talk about like what ifs and all that stuff, and someone goes in and like kind of explains the story if Gandalf had decided to keep the ring for himself and use it to defeat Sauron. That's such a cool one. Essentially, he ends up succeeding and defeating Sauron and everything using the power of the ring, but then eventually he becomes like, you know, twisted by its power and ends up becoming wanting to kind of rule over the whole land, and essentially becomes like Dark Gandalf the Black, you know, Dark Gandalf, and literally becomes like just like Sauron, but you know, the wizardy version. And I always thought it'd be cool to make make a character design based on that concept, you know, like evil Gandalf. After he had the ring for like centuries and was twisted by it. The funny thing about all those Marvel movies, it's like the ones that are like the least important seem to be the most enjoyable. Does anybody else experience that? You know, like the more of like the side character movies, stories. Oh, I really like that, actually. I just watched his Gandalf one. North of the Border. He makes really good videos for sure. Yeah. I actually, so I've been really wanting, me and the missus combined have the skills to make really nice YouTube videos like that. We just have to really start practicing, and so I always look at videos like his to like really see like the way he does like cutting and the way he presents the work and the way he talks and everything. It's just really well done. So yeah. The smaller stuff is good, but I love some big team up adventure movies. Yeah, right. We plan on it. It's really difficult because obviously something like that takes a lot of time, A lot of, you know, YouTubers, they'll spend a whole week or 2 weeks where, all the time where I'd be streaming, they're instead producing the video, whether it's through editing or filming. So it's hard. It's difficult to work it in with on top of everything we already have. But I know that would be I think it could do well, and it would be a potential way for us to kind of get ahead, So, because when you do work and put effort into like a YouTube video, it's there. It's what they call forever green content, meaning art related stuff it's always there on YouTube. The way the algorithm works on YouTube is it'll give people a video that's like years old, even like 10-year-old videos. It doesn't discriminate based on like it being new content, essentially. So the work you put in kind of just stays there and then just continues to help you over time. So the more you upload, the more the older vids will get views. Yeah, so kind of like a snowball effect, essentially. But it's just hard to kind of get going because it's that you have to put in a lot of upfront time and cost to make it good enough for it to do well. But it's not going to do well at the beginning. There's going to be this phase of uploading videos where it's not really going to, it's not going to get a lot of people looking at it. So so it's just kind of pushing over and getting over the hump. But we're going to do it. We're definitely going to do it. It's just going to take some time. All right, I'll be right back. 2 seconds, folks, and then we'll continue. All right. Not a bad idea, Rob. You mean like designing a project to like visualize those complex feelings and kind of mental lenses that people experience? That's what it is, man. It's crazy how our mind is able to create a lens over how we see the world around us, where depending on what lens you have on, life could be great or terrible. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now we're gonna brush this with alcohol again, and then we'll do the fine lines, and then we should be looking pretty good after that. You think so? I think people are more aware about it nowadays than they've ever been. Yeah, not too long ago was it not even a thing that people would consider. You could mention that topic and know what people wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Something my brother deals with. He says it's like having 8 voices talking to you all the time in your head, making it incredibly hard to focus on one specific thing. It's the best way he could describe it. Oh, that's ADHD, sorry. Not obsessive compulsive disorder. Is that the one where you have to like take a photograph of your oven before you leave? Otherwise, when you leave, you'll think about how you're wondering if you turned your oven off or not before you left. What's that? What's that stand for? ASD. That's true. Yeah, everybody has intrusive thoughts. A common one I have, I don't know if you ever, but when you're just like walking down the side of a street on a sidewalk and you see someone coming down the street at you, the like thought of them just like, what if this person just randomly turns and just rams, like just runs me over, you know? Like, yeah, I guess today's the day. Here we go. I try that. That's the thing I try to program my mind not to do, to have thinking of these random scenarios. It's like, all right, let's focus here. Let's not waste our mental energy on this stuff. Oh, I see. Saradini. Interesting. Almost like a guilt for having a thought kind of thing. For even thinking such a thing. Any plans, or are you just winging it? Yeah. Well, that's one way to say I belong here in one statement. Welcome on in. I think you'll fit right in here. We are indeed... I do have a plan, but we are also winging it, as you say. Hey, thanks, Boom. Yeah, this is the last stage of the final wing here for Alduin, so very happy to be on the tail end of this wing here. Just kidding, tail's already done, so. Gonna glue that down. All right, it's looking good. Last step is to take. Actually, no, not last step. We gotta do the spikes at the ends last, but let's do this step next, anyways. Take it like this. Gotta be one. Gosh, not the one I'm looking for. Where is it? It's missing. Might have to use this one. I had one of these that has like 5 spikes. But I guess we'll just hold 2 of them together. No, this is all hand sculpted. I do hand sculpted, one of a kind, original pieces here. I show the whole process, start to finish. Working mostly on commissioned works by companies or individuals, private collectors. Yeah, we build everything out of a type of polymer clay, all done by hand, and all one-off creations too. So everything I make is unique and one of a kind. The only one that exists. And it's all custom work, so people come, people or companies contact me and they want a specific thing made. Sometimes really specific, sometimes unspecific, and they just want me to kind of, I've had clients commission me to just produce an original work for them, which I'm very happy to do, of course. Or it can be a character that already exists, or a character type, like for example, like a custom designed Viking character or something like that. And I bring it to life. This particular commission is for Alduin from the realm of Skyrim. The named dragon bad guy in the Skyrim game. Alduin. All right, Serenini. We'll catch you later. Travel safe. Many times. I was quite disappointed when I met Alduin the first time. But it's because it's the way I play games like that. That's my own fault. I'll completely ignore the main storyline quests until I'm like as far leveled as I can be with all the epic gear, and then I just show up to the last boss fight and shoot him with one arrow. I was like, oh, that's it? Really? Nothing more defeating than not having a worthy adversary or a worthy foe. All the power in the world and no one to use it on. No one to fight and contend with. I feel for those bad guys like the Joker that likes, that appreciates the adversariness of the Batman, It's like this need to have a worthy foe. Because otherwise you just run around town to town killing all the guards. And that only is fun for a little bit. Just massacring a whole town. Stop right there. That's when you know you've beaten the game, is when you can walk into the main city and just kill everybody without consequence. Hey, Ed, thanks a lot, my friend. Yeah, let me, you know what, we can do a little, a preview of this thing put together here in a second. Let me get done with this step and we'll attach both the wings. You can see the full piece. And the only reason you're saving the world is because you live in it. Yeah. It's that rags to riches storyline that I think gets us that idea of like you start off as like some absolute newbie and getting, destroyed by mud crabs. Then you turn into this able to destroy this anybody, giant dragons and giants and stuff. That's what makes those adventures so much fun. The character arc. The hero's journey. From zero to hero. You'll see that same theme apply to almost any of the best stories that people have loved, What's the reason why, like, for example, why the old Star Warses do better than the new ones? Because think of how long Luke Skywalker is like a total noob. You know, he, he's like an absolute noob for a long time before he like goes through trials and tribulations to become the one. You know, these newer movies, they just like what's the girl's name? What's the new one that's like the epic girl character, Ray or something like that. Can't remember her name. See, this is how can't even remember her name. The problem is, you meet her in the story and she's just awesome at everything, without like she's just amazing, good at everything, better than everybody. Just like with no sort of like character growth, or arc. They just like find her like scrapping some ship out in the sands of whatchamacallit, Daenerys. No, that's World of Warcraft. Tatooine? Yeah, Tatooine. There we go. Daenerys. She was in a zone in World of Warcraft scrapping some Kodu skeletons. But yeah, no character arc whatsoever. Just, hi, I'm really good at everything already. Hello. All right. Let's go ahead and brush this again to lock in that skin texture. Then we just gotta do the spikes at the end here, and then this will be ready to go in the oven. Brush it down with some alcohol. Rose. This material is called Cos clay. It's a type of polymer clay that is flexible after it's been baked, kind of like a rubber. Really awesome stuff. Okay, let's... Last thing to do now is these spikes here. Hey, what's up, Teletubbies? Are they concerned? I'm extremely concerned. Yeah, it should, and that's good though that it looks that way right now. And then they call that a unifying wash when you do a wash over all your work and it like brings it all together. So stay true to the path. Right on target. Right. Hey, thanks a lot, Teletubbies. way. Eol. Keela. There we go. Keela. There it is. There it is. I use a type of polymer clay called cast clay. It's an oven cured material that has a kind of a hard rubber like finish when it's been cured. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Keela. Always nice to know the work is appreciated. Would an artist make artwork if there was no one to share it with? That is the question. I don't think so. Hey, Alpha, you have a great one. Have a good evening. I'll Dremel out these bottoms of these after it's been cured. All right. Pretty nice. Shall we assemble it to see how it all looks together before I bake the wing? Pretty big. I'm excited. So we'll bake this wing for the final time, and then next week we can get to work on these scales along the back of the neck, on the back, and finishing the horns. I also think, like, see, the horns have to be finished. Scales here, scales on the back, and then the tip, I think the tip of the tail needs something there. And that's it, onto the base after that. Pretty cool. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and leave that there for right now, folks. We will regroup tomorrow. Be working on the chess set in the morning and the skeleton pirate in the evening. So morning stream starts at 8 a.m. Central Time, and evening stream starts at 6 p.m. Central Time. So come and join us, see what's going on with those projects. And yeah, we'll continue on here. Yeah, I wanted to get this step done this evening, so I'll stay down a little bit longer to get it finished up. And yeah. Finished up. Looks good. Let's see here. Who can we raid tonight? Where shall I leave you? Maybe Doomfruit? Yeah, you know what? Let's go raid Doomfruit. All right. Till next time, my friends. Bye-bye.